Hey, it's Shabes. Welcome to a 100 sub room tour. Don't worry about the padlock. That was something I put on there when I was a wee lad. I've been in this room since 2001. Sometimes move into that room, but for the most part, I've been in here. The couch is new. This is the first time I've ever had a couch in here, but for the most part, same kind of furniture, and it's just been reorganized a bunch of times. Why didn't I make my bed? God damn it. The setup is also relatively new. When I just got back from AmeriCorps after a long time. These hats are from camp, and that one's from AmeriCorps because that's the one year I didn't work at camp, 2018. Those three hats are from when I was a scout. I didn't work those summers. Those are like the staff hats. These are all staff hats. And I started working that year, and then all those. These are pint glasses from camp. They give us various staff gifts, including a pint glass every year, so they're all very nice. The two raccoons there, this is actually the inspiration for my channel and stuff, because I got these were real cute. We sold these in when I was the company store manager for camp in 2014, and then it was around 2015 that I wanted to start the channel, and that was like iconography I wanted to choose. And I didn't start it until 2016. That's just how procrastination I had. I have two awards here, Less Isn't More and Cave Dweller. They just have various kind of fun awards and stuff. They have various accolades. I happen to have my high school diploma, and my college diploma is in one of the envelopes over there, but because I just got it. That plaque is for working 5 summers at my camp. Yeah, that's my setup with mic and such. My laptop has a dead battery. That's my old one though, from 2010. Very old, but I use it to record because it has a mic jack and this one doesn't. So here it stays. And that's an LGH poster from Volume 10 of Legend of the Galactic Heroes. I actually made that poster, but there, it's really cool. Berserk, Oron, Nausicaa, Yu Yu Hakusho. That's a sketch of some of my college friends. It was commissioned by one of my patrons, Fred. It's pretty dope. That is a poster for the play that I directed. I majored in theater in college, and I wanted to be a director mostly instead of kind of acting. But I had to learn how to act, so I have a degree in theater performance. Yang Gang. And over there's hold on, Black Butler. Very nice. Oh, and I keep forgetting to mention this. My house is 300 years old. It was built in 1710. Most of the rooms have a fireplace because there's one middle chimney in the middle. But only one fireplace actually works. The rest of them are closed off, so this has never, ever worked in the 19 years I've lived in here. And yeah, I'll show you my collection in detail. There's a Berserk vinyl. I don't have a vinyl player.
Alright. So I got 2 volumes of Legend of the Galactic Heroes. I don't have the first volume because I lost it. I got these 2 as a gift, and then I bought the first one, and then I got the second 2 as a gift, and then I just haven't completed it or read them. But heck, it's the publication of it, right? You gotta support that stuff. This is something I found after I finished Monster and wanted to get some kind of memorabilia for it that wasn't like the manga or something. This is like a Japanese imported of the story from the anime and stuff, from the manga, And it's a whole thing, and it's stuff like that. Like, it's really cool. It's all in Japanese, obviously, but like, it's dope. I love that I have that. One of my favorite shows. Cinema anime, I haven't really read this. I collect a lot of imported manga because I think it's much cooler than just the regular manga, I guess, because like I figure it's like, if I'm gonna collect stuff that I'm probably not gonna read this stuff that often, or I'll read it once. You know what I mean? So it's the same kind of aesthetic. So it's like, why not just collect stuff that's like super niche and rare? Not rare, I guess, but like rare in the U.S. So I have the last 3 volumes of Mahojin Guru Guru. This was back when 2017 hadn't nothing had been adapted of these 3 volumes before 2017's adaptation. Obviously, it adapted all of it, but 94 and Doki Doki never got this far, so that's kind of why I have them. But I'd like to have the rest of them at some point. I have the 34th volume of Hunter x Hunter. Just happened to find it in Newbury Comics, but this is the Chrollo and Hisoka fight. That's like best fight he's ever written, in my opinion. Just on a pure technical stance, maybe not on like a thematic or like emotional whatever, but just purely like as a creative, like the kind of fights that Togashi is able to write. It's cream of the crop, in my opinion. I have the 10th volume of Shogun Rokureku Shinju. I just think it's a really nice installment, and it has obviously like kind of the most craziest part of the story, kind of the ending and everything like that, and how that wraps up. I happened to get this this volume when I went to Kinokuniya in New York, and I visited Roger Smith. Actually, we met up there, and it was really cool. That was the first internet friend I'd ever like met in real life and meet them, you know what I mean? Actually, no, that's not true. I had met Pedantic Romantic beforehand, technically. Whatever. But I got this volume. This was the first volume of the anime that Masaki Yuasa is directing in the winter of next year. So, I mean, that's going to be a banger, so I'd like to kind of have some bit of that. I don't know where my 7th volume and 1st volume of this went, and I'm really mad. But I have the Moomin series, the more modern installments. I do have an older copy of Moomin Land Midwinter that I read, but I misplaced my original copy of Sin Family Moomin Troll, and I don't know where. I lent Comet out to a friend, and then I don't know where C went. Moomin Papa at Sea. But that's a fantastic book series. One of my favorite series in general. That it's still as good as the anime is, and all the other adaptations. I still think the books are the best form that you could possibly read them in. I do have a copy of Death Note that somebody got me, the first volume, for Christmas. I didn't happen to buy Megalobox, the full kind of premium edition, because it has this like booklet with interviews and stuff that I have not read yet, and I really should. I might later, but I should. I do have particularly this copy of Kaiji One Poker. Obviously One Poker being the best arc. Please read more Kaiji. Oh my god, catch up, please. It's amazing. This was easily the best arc of the series, and probably why it's still in my top 10 now. And not just something hasn't taken its place yet, because it's just kind of a placeholder for this. But this is actually the cover that I first saw One Poker as. Like that was the cover for like, you know, the scanlations and all that back then. But just kind of as a thing. But I love it. I have a copy of Only Yesterday, Princess Tutu, Discotheque's release of Tomorrow's Joe. Gotta support that shit. I should see it in Blu-ray because I've only ever seen it with the DVD. I got a Urusei Yatsura DVD, and this is actually signed by Toshio Furukawa, who voices Ataru and Poplon, and obviously Ace, and all those sorts of things. He's a great voice actor. And he was like, "Oh, Ginga Eiyu Densetsu," when I had showed him a picture of Poplon, saying like, "I love you in this role," and I gave him Urusei Yatsura DVD. He's like, "Nobody asks me for this in America. It's so cool." It's awesome. I got a copy of the Nausicaa DVD. I should have a better copy of that, but whatever. I got this at a con, Dirty Pair Project Eden on VHS. It's the wrong dub. There's 2 dubs of this, and there's a much better dub that is not this one, unfortunately. So that's very unfortunate, but what can you do? I think it's still pretty cool. I got a lot of CDs, and I want to collect more of them, to be honest with you. At a con, one of the first times I ever went to a anime con, I got the first soundtrack for Ashino Joe. Just found this in like flipping through like a guy's back catalog, like, you know, storage of stuff. I was like, oh, you know, this is the first series. Really good soundtrack, and like in good quality, of course. I bought the Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt soundtrack, of course. It's amazing. I did get the Megalobox soundtrack in physical when like the day it came out, and I pre-ordered it, and I had it like 2 days before everyone else got it on like Spotify. Uh, so I felt pretty good about this. That was a good buy. I actually got the Infinite Revice soundtrack, the first volume. This is how like the greatest hits kind of deal. There's two other albums, and I would like to get the third album at some point because that has all the extra bonus rap tracks and stuff. That's like really interesting, and I have them all downloaded. But like, this is really nice. This has all the greatest hits and stuff. And with that con that I went to Oshino Joe, I got the copy of Paranoia Agents soundtrack, which I was like, you're not going to get the DVD, but like, this is pretty up there and rare. And heck, it's Hirasawa. I love that guy, and I'm probably going to. I'm in the process of making a video about one of his soundtracks. This is a thing. It's just like CDs that I burned back in 2015 or 2016. I want to say 2015. It might have been 2016. I don't know. Whenever I watched like Tutu and Macros and Jinro and Fooly Cooly and Angel's Egg. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff I watched in that period. But I made these CDs of like mixes of various OPs and EDs that I liked at the time. So this first one is all bangers like Ninja Slayer, Akuma no Riddle, Kaiji, Hunter x Hunter, and all that stuff. The second one, Where Are You Christmas? I got Evangelion there. Punchline's OP is really good. Keikai Sensen. It's probably from 2015. No, because it's probably 2016 to be honest with you, because like this had just come out like in 2015, which I don't remember. And then obviously this is the more like somber, like chill stuff, and this had Lane Monster, LOGH. So I think that was pretty good artistically, if I do say so myself. And I have other CDs with like whatever, various instrumentals and whatnot. I have a ton of these that I nabbed from my college club's office. At the time when I was leaving, there was nobody who wanted to be president, of course, and or just develop a full e-board. That was probably a failure on my part, and it's not like advertising more, and I don't know. So that stinks. It still exists. It does. They did revive it the following year, but like at the time we were like, nobody's here. Oh well. So like we're gonna move out of the office and all that stuff. So like we had to like get the stuff, put our stuff in boxes, our entire collection, which is it's an amazing collection, an incredible collection. But I nabbed all of these Animerica magazines, so I feel like an oldie, a new type, couple new types, mostly Animerica though. And this is pretty cool, like archived stuff, and kind of a cool thing. So I was thinking about flipping through one of these magazines every so often, and like kind of as a blind read, and kind of like looking at like, oh, this has this thing. And then like from that video, I'd ask like, let me know what you want, like scanned or something to, I don't know, in a way that I can try to transmit it if somebody's interested in various things that are in these magazines, instead of trying to cover it in full detail or anything like that. But I think that'd be pretty fun. It's like a series. It's like there's like over 20 of these. So let me know if you're interested in that, doing something like that, please. I'm interested in it, but we'll see if that's any good. My second shelf is a lot more personal stuff. Not personal, but like, I don't know, stuff that's not anime. I have all the things you can think. This fantasy art Bible thing that I've had for a long time as like a birthday present or something. This is pretty clutch, actually. Like a pocket travel version of Where's Waldo. Like every Where's Waldo. Like perfect. The guy needs to make more, honestly. Too bad. I have a copy of The Hobbit with my dad found a bunch of these old plays, like literally like old like paper, and like this is from the time, you know what I mean? When I was in high school, it was from like an old building that had burned, like the third story had burned down or something. It was old theater house or something, and he found a bunch of these, and I picked this one out as something to adapt, and it was the first play I ever directed. I typed this out like from this booklet because you couldn't find this anywhere online, not even like new editions or anything like that. And so I readapted it and directed it, and was actually starring in it too. It's a whole thing. That's a whole story. I'm mostly a theater guy. I graduated with a degree in theater performance, but I got pretty cynical to the industry and how it works, and it's just very behind the times for me and a little indulgent. And I don't know. I still love theater. I love doing it. It's also like a big time commitment and stuff, and I just love anime too goddamn much now. So Shel Silverstein with The Sidewalk Ends, very good poet. I need to look at these illustrations more because it's simultaneously like whimsical and grotesque. Like it's stuff like this. It's like fucking what, dude? And yeah, it's a lot of really creative stuff in here for kids and stuff, and I still love it to pieces. I have a lot of Roald Dahl books. Great author, big inspiration for me creatively. I admit that the whole anti-Semitic thing, that's part of the whole like internet. You get to fully understand a person. Like you're never gonna know that from his work. So I mean, that's just me. That's a tough thing, honestly. I don't know. Breath of the Wild map. Love that game. Never owned it. Got to play it with my friend's copy. And yeah, I have various play stuff like stage direction, audition, playwrights guidebook, writing scripts and stuff. Complete works of William Shakespeare. I adapted a stage adaptation of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde from this book that I got from a book fair. This exact book, and it was the first time I ever actually read. I know this is obviously like the abridged version that's like, has an illustration every page, and it's a more simplified language. It's not like the original, but it's essentially the same story that takes it from. If anyone has never read this before, it doesn't take place from Jekyll's perspective. It takes place from his friend's perspective, and the whole thing is a mystery thing. And it's supposed to be a twist that they're the same person, but it's just such a common spoiler that like everyone knows it. But I made an adaptation because I realized that it's never been made as that. Like no one ever takes from Utterson's perspective and that character, his friend. It's always from Jekyll's perspective, and I think it's more interesting when it's from someone else and they're discovering it and stuff. Even though it's the twist, everyone knows it, and I don't know. I think there's some drama to be had in it, and I like it a lot. Anyway, this third shelf is all Thomas Hardy books because I read this my senior year of high school and loved it. I think it's probably my favorite book still. I just love the story and the characters and stuff, and the imagery that Thomas Hardy has, and the setting is so well realized. But he has all these stories, and a lot of them take place in the same kind of a literary universe from the same same locations and stuff. But all the characters don't really, it's not like a series or anything. So no pet for camp. And then this is yeah, you know what that is. It's Nausicaa manga. This is really cool. I bought this too. Shichiro Kobayashi's art book. This thing's so good. Has interviews and stuff, but it's all untranslated. It's an import. But it's got so many of his backgrounds from Berserk, Utena, Angel's Egg, Venus Wars, Beautiful Dreamer, Johto, all of his Dazaki stuff, Takarajima, Ie Nakiko. It's just such gorgeous stuff. Gamba. The first thing is from Gamba, actually. And then, but like all of it's just gorgeous stuff. And I love him as a background artist. He's still my favorite. art director. This is pretty cool. I actually got this from my cousin, and I haven't given it back, and I'm sorry. I'm sure he wants it back, but he's in Texas now. This is an atlas of Middle Earth. So this actual cartographer, she actually like did the whole thing for Lord of the Rings. I don't know if it's like it's probably kind of unofficial technically, but like she actually documents like all of the maps and the geography and the various she maps various wars and stuff of like, you know, various travels like she has like the migration of hobbits. But it just got me so interested in map making and I haven't made it. I did make maps for a period for like Bionicle because I was a fanatic for Bionicle at the time when that was happening. Last thing that's probably of note is this Nausicaa watercolor impression book that I got from a con as well. He has a couple interviews with Miyazaki and talking about various pieces that he did. Like he has comments for every single official art piece that he did here. There was one that he's like, I don't remember making this. It's like stuff like that, and it's so cool. Like there's this comment there, I don't remember what I do this for. Stuff like that. And like he's like, yeah, I had to make when I was like kind of a slave to these manga people that like insisted I keep making calendars for them, and it's so great. And obviously like plenty of production material for the motion picture and his interviews and his thought process and stuff. What is in here? Oh god. Oh, so never mind. You'll never know. And that's my room and collection without going too TMI. Hope you enjoyed it. Yo, peace.